on the other two recipients, but I was blown away reading your bio. I just, if we could all just say a quick thank you with a round of applause for his service.
My daughter told me to do this and she'd come up here and do it. So. Well, and it says here deep breath and you got this. So let's see if my daughter's right on that one too. I am honored to be standing before you to introduce not only a classmate, but a good friend, Jim Perry. The first endeavor in Jim's journey began in Michigan. This will surprise Jim. On summer break while in high school, to pick apples. Jim decided at an early age he didn't want to be an apple picker, an apple farmer, an apple enthusiast of any sort. He was going to join the military. So after graduating high school in 1960, Jim joined the Navy. We should all be grateful for that decision. Jim served for 28 years, focusing on electrical engineering. He graduated the University of New Mexico cum laude in 1970 and also belonged to that honor society. Jim served in the Vietnam War as a naval flight officer and quickly became mission commander of the E-2 Hawkeye aircraft and responsible for strike groups in Hanoi. Quoting an excerpt from retired Commander William Ratzinger, "In combat, it's all about results." And Jim was the professional you could count on for mission success. Because of his extraordinary talent, he moved up the chain of command to many other demanding Navy assignments. During his time in the military, he served 3 years on the aircraft carrier USS Midway, flew over 100 combat missions, and 294 carrier landings. He also served on Naval Plant Representative during the difficult years, getting the Tomahawk cruise missile into early production. He received 17 service medals, including 2 Naval Commendation Medals. While the military recognized his many achievements, he was about to share his engineering skills with the private sector. After retiring from the Navy as commander in January of 1989, Jim joined TRW Corporation, Viasat, and then Northrop Grumman. During his time in the private sector, he worked on classified programs involving the Advanced Technical Fighter Program and the Hunter Unmanned Vehicle Program. While at Viasat, he worked on the satellite communications equipment, even in Air Force One. So President Clinton should be thanking Jim that Monica never got a busy signal when calling Air Force One. In 1999, he returned to TRW to work as a project lead on the Hunter Unmanned Air Vehicle. There's no room for error when working on projects as large as this. He had to make sure all systems from communications to nuclear detection were operating properly. There's no better man for the job than Jim. One of his noted accomplishments while at Northrop Grumman was troubleshooting the Viper strike weapon system. This was the first successfully used weapon system in combat from an Army unmanned aircraft. Most of the next several years was spent working on that program. Jim received numerous promotions, including Director of Programs and Chief Engineer. Mr. Kevin Goetz, who was the director of the Unmanned Systems Integration Center, summarized his post-military career best. Professionally, Jim was a pioneer in the world of unmanned aircraft systems. He is without question the most respected and admired leader amongst employees, managers, and the military community. Jim's first retirement took place in 2009, but that retirement was short-lived. Northrop Grumman just couldn't get by without him. He returned to work as program manager for the Hunter Unmanned Systems Somehow those aircrafts just couldn't fly straight without Jim's expertise. During those last couple of years, Jim was instrumental in bringing together the major aerospace companies to modify the systems that would allow one common ground control system. This represents a major breakthrough in cost savings and capabilities through cooperation teamwork of the major competing corporations. Jim knew how to go out on a high note. Retired Captain Bruce Kenton had the following to say that encompasses Jim's military and private sector career. Jim has served his country with distinction, both in and out of uniform. His dedication, expertise, leadership skills made him a leader amongst his peers. He was always at the leading edge of significant and critical defense programs, providing engineering skills, management oversight, and he has earned a high degree of respect from all personnel who have worked with him. I've covered very little of Jim's tremendous military experience and successful career. Now I will conclude on how he's enjoying his retirement. Jim permanently retired from Northrop Grumman in 2012 and spent the last 2 years riding his Harley-Davidson for the American Legion Riders to support their many charities. Also participates in the Patriot Guard Riders to honor the fallen warriors and veterans, providing escorts from airports, funeral homes, and military bases. While I focused on Jim's achievements for the last few minutes, I want to conclude with what this award is really about. When Jim learned of his nomination to the Hall of Fame, he expressed his gratitude to one special person at Herculaneum High for giving him the skills, the work ethic, and drive to do his best, Coach Bill Holmes. He was Jim's football coach. Without the influence of Coach Holmes early in his life, Jim may still be picking apples in Michigan. High school should be a time of academic learning, but it should also be a foundation that one uses to build their personal career. Jim obviously received both while walking through these halls. Jim, wait a minute now. That kind of made me think I was walking through those halls, and it kind of saddened me. Even though Jim attributes many of his successes to his years at Herky High, I think we should be thanking him for representing what it is to be a black hat so honorably. So it's with great pleasure that I introduce my friend, my classmate, Commander Jim Perry.
I was going to tell you all the sea story, but since I'm first, I'm going to shorten it up a little bit. First of all, I do want to thank my wife Kathy and our 5 kids for their support on this journey, and a special thanks to my daughters, Missy, Daisha, my son Mike, my grandson Zachary, my brother Tom, and his wife. Thank you all for your support. They all flew out, my children all flew out from San Diego for this, so I'd also like to thank, secondly, Dr. Bradshaw and the selection committee for even considering me for this honor. And Carolyn, my special thanks to you for nominating me in your kind words. I am more fortunate than most to have had so many opportunities to work doing things that people in this great community still believe in. I am grateful to have had the potential advantages afforded by such opportunities and the means to act on them as I was capable. And I know that given the same opportunities, a lot of people I know would have done better or as well as I And I just feel so lucky to have been given so many chances to serve. Thirdly, I want to thank Irma and John Parker, who were Herculaneum High School teachers here, and gave me a second chance, including 3 of the best years of my life. I'll always be grateful to them and all of the great teachers that gave us such a great start in life. Teachers like Mrs. Robinson, and I was so pleased to see her name on the auditorium. She was very explicit in her advice and guidance to our path of success. And I was more than appreciative of her after a couple of years. I believe high school sports can be significant in education and development of young people, where we learn that individual performance takes a backseat to team success. Being part of a team and strengthening collective support can be very important in our lives, and to me personally, it was a deciding factor in both combat and the corporate world. I got my first glimpse of synergy here in Herculaneum, and even if I didn't actually know what it meant at the time, we all knew that we were part of something special, and that as a team, we were performing at levels we never thought possible. That was in large part because of great coaching, and I'll always appreciate the great coaches we had, such as Ike Jennings, who's still the toughest son of a gun I've ever known. Coach Myers, Mills, Turner, and of course, Coach Holmes. It taught us how to win and how to be winners. And I think made us aware of the sacrifice and the hard work that it takes to be a winner. Made us aware, and we were able to experience the joy of being champions, and there was just nothing like that. Nothing like that feeling. And we took with us on our life's journey all of that. They raised our expectations, increased our self-confidence, and were instrumental in our initial development, to an extent that I really don't think most teachers and coaches may be aware of. From my perspective, education is the great equalizer. And I read recently that teachers are the single most transformative force in education, which in turn has the greatest potential influence on what the future holds for our country. So I personally, I'm very pleased, and was very pleased when my oldest granddaughter, Melena, and her husband, Chris, earned their master's degrees and started their teaching career about a year ago. And to the teachers here tonight, I'm sure that 100 years from now, it won't matter what kind of car you drove, and what kind of house you live in, but 100 years from now, the world may very well be a better place because you were such an important influence on the many youngsters whose lives you touch, doing your job every day. For my classmates in the class of 1960, I think the results speak for themselves, as their achievements in service are very impressive. I would like to name just a few, and I will miss some. Marvin Baker, who just passed, served in the United States Army in Vietnam, after which he attended college on the GI Bill, where he was a student assistant to Coach Holmes at Central Methodist University, and went on to a successful career as high school football coach in Texas, where you all probably know football is king. Gary Whitehead, a hospital corpsman in the Navy. He served with the United States Marine Corps in Vietnam, in the steamy jungles of Vietnam, my dad. And while treating wounded Marines and under heavy gunfire, he was seriously wounded and awarded the Purple Heart. I never saw him ever again walk. King is a true American hero. Al Meese had a successful career as a production quality assurance manager for Pittsburgh Quaker Gas, Donna Torrance Longley and her husband owned a successful cleaning business. Harold Hall owned a successful construction business. I could go on and on. Pat Snyder Burke, after a career in medical administration, she fought a long, difficult, courageous battle with stage 4 cancer. Happily, her cancer is under control now, and she and her husband are enjoying a successful career as authors of several books, which, by the way, are available on Amazon, under the pen name Charles P. Frank. My friend Mary Lou Shipp McKee had a very successful career with Bechtel Corporation. I was privileged to serve on an industry advisory council to the Dean of Engineering at the University of Arizona for several years, and another member of that group was a VP with Bechtel. She had graduated from the University of Arizona School of Engineering. I asked her if she knew my friend Mary, and she replied that she did know her, and that Mary was highly admired for her work at the Oak Ridge, Tennessee nuclear facility. And of course, when I asked her, or she asked me, I should say, how I knew Mary, I'm sure she noted the obvious pride of my reply that we were classmates here. Randy Keller served 30 years in a dangerous and demanding position with the Missouri State Highway Patrol, and then an additional 10 years as an investigator with the Missouri State Board of Registration for the Healing Arts. It's a very impressive 40-year career in public service. Fred Ross worked his way through college, earned a Master of Science and a Master of Science in Education, taught high school, shop, had a successful career coaching high school varsity wrestling. He consistently sent athletes to the state tournament, taking fourth one year, second again in another year, and in 1992 his Lafayette High School wrestling team won it all as Missouri State champions. Now all of you who know Fred knows that everything he does is with great enthusiasm. And he and his wife are frequent square dancers. He's a proponent of the adage that life may not be the party we hope for, but while we're here, we might as well dance. He'd be here tonight, but unfortunately, last Tuesday, he had hip replacement surgery, and he won't be dancing for a while. Randy, Fred, and I were the original three amigos. I can't remember the details, so I guess the things we did for the betterment of mankind will be left unsaid. Finally, I'd like to thank Carolyn and Mary for your wonderful generosity of time and resources to many. Carolyn is constantly helping other people, and I would like to tell you about just one example. She was helping Mary with the refurbishment of her kitchen, which included new cabinets. She asked the artisan doing the work if he knew of anyone who might be able to use Mary's very serviceable cabinets. And he said, yeah, he knew of a very hard-working man, family man who had lost his job during the downturn and whose kitchen was in very bad shape. Unfortunately, when he tried to install the cabinets, he discovered that the kitchen had such serious structural problems, he just couldn't finish it. So Carolyn paid him to do the structural work required and then complete installation. The results, of course, is a very happy family and a great gift in the spirit of this past Christmas. Carolyn, you epitomize the definition of philanthropy, and I'm very pleased to have you as a classmate, friend. There are many others, but in the deference to time, let me just say, if you're looking at one proud American, a proud graduate of Herculaneum High School with the class of 1960. It is on their behalf and on your behalf that I accept this outstanding honor with overwhelming gratitude. May God bless this great school.